Hey, what's the deal? Miss your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag, you know what I mean? As of this recording is actually 10:45 a.m. The December 3rd, 2025. You know what I'm saying? This is the second video of the day. You know what I mean? And this is the second video I want to drop about TNA. Because after the initial report of TNA signing with AMC came about, there were people who were asking questions about not even questions. There were people who were saying who TNA should sign. Oh, TNA should sign this person. TNA should sign that person. Blah 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 blah. Right? And I laughed because I'm like, you do know that whoever TNA signs, they got to go through WWE first. You know that, right? You do know WWE still controls the masses, right? So there were lists. There were definitely lists of hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. Yeah, sorry about that. There were lists of people who some of these TNA loyalists wanted the company to sign, right? And I'm here to tell y'all that a lot of these names that I seen on this list, sorry to tell you, but it's not happening. Maybe like a handful. But again, they have to go through WWE now to get approval to sign some of these people, right? Because they know that with this deal, WWE, like I said, WWE now controls everything with TNA, especially with this AMC deal. People are like, oh man, they're getting $30 million for this deal, up to $30 million and blah, 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 right? So that means they got money to sign, they got money to sign free agents that don't want to go to WWE or AEW and blah, blah, blah. Again, WWE controls the masses for TNA. That's what people don't understand. So I've seen names like, and I'm gonna give y'all some names, right? I'm gonna give y'all some names that I've seen on the list that kind of made me chuckle. Okay? And where I think some of these people should go and will wind up going. Okay? I've seen Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland is still under contract with AEW, stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, your brain dead or something? Like, seriously. And then they had Billy Gunn. Now, I don't know if Billy Gunn is still under contract with AEW. I don't know. I honestly, God, really don't. But if he, why the fuck would you want to sign Billy Gunn for? Huh? If you want to sign, go ahead. Chris Jericho. That's a name that I was hearing a lot of. Oh, TNA. And it's funny that he said, talking about wrestling somewhere, and when he said that news yesterday about he'll be wrestling somewhere in 2026, and the news of TNA with AMC actually happened to come out the same time that Jericho made that statement. It's a coincidence. Jericho's not going to TNA. Let's cut the bullshit. All right. He's definitely not going back to AEW. We already know where he's going. Danhausen. WWE has interest in Danhausen. Danhausen would be, I could see WWE actually adding Danhausen to TNA and such, for appearances. But to me, he would go, he fit better in AAA. The next person also I can see fit in AAA. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, this guy was part of the staple with TNA. True, but I think, he will fit, even if he goes to TNA, right? Who is to say that WWE won't be able to use him for NXT? Jay Lethal, right? I think Jay Lethal would be perfect he'd be perfect for AAA. You know what I mean? He'd be, I won't see him going to NXT, but AAA, yes. You know what I mean? And then you could slowly blend him on somewhere into the main roster, right? Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett's retiring. Let's get the bullshit. Johnny TV, which is basically Johnny Nitro. If you want to sign him, go ahead. Kip Sabian, who cares, right? Mansoir and Mason Madden. Remember the Maximum Male Models? If I can see them going to TNA, right? Max Caster, I can see him going to TNA also, right? Along with Anthony Bowens, right? But that's if WWE, is interested. See, again, a lot of these fucking talents, right, are basically, you would have to get WWE approval to sign half of these people. And then someone put Paul White. If you want to get Paul White, go right ahead. You know what I mean? Private Party. We know Private Party is going to WWE. See, again, a lot of the fact that these people, if you sign with TNA, you basically have a backdoor to WWE. So if TNA signs half of these people, then WWE can just easily use them. It's that fucking simple. What the fuck don't you get from this deal? What the fuck don't you get? Again, the fact that, people are going berserk over TNA in this major, TV deal with AMC. Again, TNA has to get approval from WWE to sign certain talents. Let's say, for example, let's say they want to sign Austin Aries. Okay? Austin Aries apparently can still go. Right? He's now in MLW. The downfall of Austin Aries is fucking crazy, but let's say they want to sign Austin Aries. Right? TNA could be interested in signing Austin Aries. Right? But what about WWE? They would have to get WWE's approval at this point for them to put into paper to bring in Austin Aries. Again, because of this TNA, WWE partnership, and I said this in my early video, WWE still controls the masses. A lot of people are not going to like they're not going to like that statement, but it's fucking reality. It's reality. WWE still controls everything at TNA. I hate to burst the bubble. I hate to burst your bubble because, especially with this partnership, you definitely can't see, I definitely can't see, TNA just going out to, I can't see them going out to fucking, not signing, or signing people and such without WWE's approval, especially like if there's a talent that, it's kind of negative, right? Let's say TNA want to sign in Matt Riddle, right? WWE's going to be like, fuck no, fuck no, fuck no, hell no. That's how it is. That's exactly how it is, But anyway, guys, I'm about to be out, I will be coming with another video tonight for sure. Because this one I desperately want to talk about because I'm definitely going to rip this next story to shreds. So I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.